We're gonna get this.
All right, and we are live.
What's up, everybody? We're gonna get this perfect one of these days. I swear, we're gonna become like the most efficient group you've ever seen. Like Trump would say, something like that, right? So, anyways, we are here, JB. Can you believe this? For our third annual mock draft special, my friend. Think about that. That's 3 whole years now.
Oh, I know. It's a whole different ball game now.
It is. And with that, JB, we've been a little bit of small growth. We're nearing 200 likes on Facebook, and we just recently hit 58 subscribers on YouTube. We've been getting a lot of comments, some comments yesterday from college basketball. So it's been good to see. We've had quite, and we had a video hit 8K, and JB's short is still the most popular short of all of them at, I think, around what, 600. So we appreciate all the support, guys. But we are here today for the mock draft special. JB, what do you got to say? It's been a while for you.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute for me. A lot of few things has been going on. Um, Personal life, but I am back for now until something else happens.
And JB, at least it's during the off season. That's the
Exactly.
main thing.
Exactly.
Because you specialize in our golf segments, and we're actually, speaking of golf, we have some big things planned this year. So, with that, JB, we are going to do the mock draft special, third annual for the unbiased hard take. And a couple rules here we won't do. Me and JB will rotate every other. I will make sure I pick the Packers player. He'll do the same for the Steelers, no matter how it goes. And we'll rotate, give about a minute brief summary on each player on why we think that team should draft them. And there will be no trades during this mock draft special. While that would be fun, that would make it really confusing and really complicated.
Yeah, that's a no go. No trades, like you said, no trades, no nothing, just straight whatever team decides to pick, and that's that.
And I don't know if you knew this, JB, before we started. Do you know this is the first time in the modern draft NFL era that each team has actually owned their own draft pick this year? Every team has their original draft pick for the
Nope.
first time in the modern draft era. That's I've seen that stat. I think it's actually a sports fact of the day that I put, but yeah,
Wow. I did not know that. But just wait until draft day comes and something might happen.
that's right. Speaking of happening, JB, we'll let you go first. It's been a while for you, my friend, so you get the introduction on our third annual Holy Mackerel mock
Ooh,
draft special. So
third annual for the
that's
unbiased hard
right.
take. Third annual mock draft. The Tennessee Titans is selecting for me is going to be no other than Cameron Ward. I mean, he has no introduction. I feel like he is the best quarterback in this draft class, by far. Um, and Tennessee is going to pick him first overall.
I agree with you. I'm actually putting, if people are wondering what I'm doing, I am putting us on our Facebook page so people can on that community can follow as well. But I agree with JB. He's the Titans sent their whole team that had anything to do with anything. They sent their freaking social media department and media to Miami's pro day. They're going to draft him. It is what it is. Quarterbacks are the number one thing on their list.
Yeah.
And really, JB, the NFL here. Put this on Facebook, but the NFL draft is controlled by the Browns this year. When I say that, we know the Titans taking Cam Ward, and the Browns here have a desperate need for quarterback. They traded for Kenny Pickett, cool. On Watson hasn't worked out. Their owner actually publicly said it today that it hasn't worked out. Tore his Achilles again. Kenny Pickett's a good backup in the NFL, but he's not a starter. So I think they're going to take Shador Sanders here. It's kind of the offense that Kevin Stefanski runs with. So I think they're going to take quarterback here. It's a quarterback needed league.
And I agree. Sador Sanders, the Browns. I've seen quite a few takes on the Browns going to pick Sador Sanders, and Sador Sanders has been talking to the Browns for quite a while now. So, I mean, I do see him being drafted to the Browns, and the New York Giants is next on the clock. Um, they just signed Russell Wilson, so to me, they really don't need a quarterback, but they do need an edge rusher, and no other than Penn State's Abdul Carter. He's the best edge rusher in the in college of this year by far. There's no other edge rusher, and everyone would probably think of Jalen Walker, but no. Abdul Carter is the best edge rusher in this draft class by far.
I agree with that. I actually think he could very well be the first pick normally, but that injury issue that he did get picked up at the combine, I think has kind of worried teams a little bit. So he'll drop a little bit, but he's easily the best defensive player in the draft here. I 100% agree with JB. I'm marking in Carter. Okay, so number 4, the New England Patriots. Obviously, Drake May looked great his rookie year. They need offensive weapons. They need an offensive line. Pro Football Focus categorized, quote from them, the worst offensive line in the NFL. So you could go with that here.
Mhm.
So I'm going to go my highest drafted lineman here. I almost went with Travis Hunter here. He's the highest player in my board, but they do have Stephon Diggs now. So because of that, I think offensive line is their biggest need. So I'm gonna take
Mhm.
Will Campbell here. Will Campbell from LSU.
I was gonna say Will
He's my
Campbell.
highest. He's my highest rated offensive lineman in the entire draft this year. He that you got to protect your quarterback, especially a young one.
Exactly. And I do agree. I was gonna say Will Campbell, but now Jacksonville, they need everything. I feel like they need everything in the books. But more so, I think they need more either defensive line or offensive tackle because their offensive tackle, their offensive line just horrible. That's why Trevor Lawrence was injured majority of the season. And they don't got weapons. Their defense is horrible. So they pretty much need everything. So I could see them picking up Travis Hunter, but I feel like their defensive line needs a lot more work. And Mason Graham, I could see Jacksonville Jaguars picking up Mason Graham as their the fifth overall pick.
Okay, so you think they're gonna go defense here?
Mm-hmm. I feel like they need
Okay,
more help on defense than what their offensive needs.
okay, okay. So you have say that one again. Sorry,
Graham, the
Graham.
defensive line in
Graham.
Michigan.
Michigan's okay. That's an interesting take, JB, because really that's number 6 here. The highest player I have rated, and I've watched a lot of film, and I have notes and notes and notes and notes here. And their biggest need is wide receiver, quarterback, running back. And while you could go Austin Gentry here, with him on the board, I'm going Travis Hunter. He's the best player in this draft. He's going to play both ways. I thought Gentry should have won Heisman last year, but Travis Hunter, I have no problem with it. It's good to see a non-quarterback win. When was the last time we've seen a college player and now go into the NFL be a both sides of the ball? We haven't. So he's a special player. I think he fills two needs in one player because they lost Hobbs in free agency to Green Bay. I
Hmm.
remember that in the corner, and then you can on top of that get a nice receiver as well.
I do agree. I do agree. And I think there was some talk that the Raiders, if Travis Hunter was still available, they were going to pick him up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, honestly, it'd be a good pick for him, anyways. But
And I
I
mean,
mean, go ahead.
go ahead.
Oh,
Oh, sorry,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I was gonna do the pick. I was gonna do the Jets pick, but you go ahead.
Because, I mean, when was the last time? Not even Dion played both sides of the ball. Evan Hester played a little bit of receiver, a little bit of defensive back, but not to this level, not to Heisman level, first round level. Devin Hester's a Hall of Famer for being a kick returner, not a corner. I mean,
Or
I
receiver.
haven't. We've never seen anything like this. JB play
Mhm.
both sides of the ball in the pros. That was going to be very interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be a different thing, but I mean, he's probably gonna get a lot more rest um, on both sides of the ball here and there. But I mean, still, it's gonna be something different.
Yes, I'm excited to see how it goes.
And for the Jets, since they did just pick up, well, a while ago, Justin Fields.
So you got a lot of love on that video and some hate, JB, on the Justin Fields with the franchise. Good video. Has over 100 views. Good job, JB.
I mean, I still believe he should have been, but you know, what do I know? But
I agree with you. Look where they're at now, waiting on the corpse of Aaron Rodgers or a draft pick.
honestly, I don't want Aaron Rodgers. In my opinion, Aaron Rodgers is too old. He doesn't have anything left in the tank. He's probably there for like 1 year, and he probably wants to have like a 3 year contract, max contract, and we're like, no, I don't want that. We could get anybody else. I mean, for crying out loud, Ryan Tannehill is available, and he hasn't even played last year. So
I do think Rodgers last year, playing on a dysfunctional as fuck, that's my one curse word I'm allowed per podcast, Jets organization, had a very good statistical year. I do think he would give you probably one decent year of football if he could stay healthy again. You one decent year, but what about after that? You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't. Is it worth it? Because Aaron Rodgers, I will say this, and then we'll get on to the Jets pick, is my favorite player of all time. He has given me so many great memories. He's one of the GOAT quarterbacks. Oh my God. You remember when he was in his prime with Green Bay? Holy crap. What they did to that Pittsburgh defense in that Super Bowl has never been done. And never done was done since. So while I kind of want to see him come back and play, it'd be kind of cool to see him start as a Packer, end as a Steeler. But it's time to let go.
yeah, yeah, he's going to be the oldest quarterback in the NFL by far. I mean, at this point, Colin Kaepernick, bring him back. Sign him at this point. I mean, he's.
Don't worry. Mason Rudolph will lead you. It's fine.
I mean, I'd rather have Mason Rudolph as our starting quarterback than Aaron Rodgers at this point. Anyways,
Without Najee Harris.
yeah, I don't want to talk about that either.
That's one of the
Anyways,
most underrated signings to me. But the Jets, JB. Jet. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, hey, here we go.
I feel like the Jets needs an offensive line to take care of Justin Fields, and who would be a great pick out of Missouri, offensive
Uh,
lineman Ahmad Membu.
and it's a strong conference. It's not like he's at Yale. You know what I'm saying? This is talking Missouri football. That's a rough conference, the SEC.
Mm-hmm. And he was really good too.
Okay. I got him. Shit. Okay. JB. We are now on to the Panthers. And this would be a team that you would think would be quarterback needy, but it's not. Because Bryce Young played great at the end of last season. So really, and
Mm-hmm. He actually did pretty decent.
I'm going McMillan from wide receiver from Arizona. Bryce Young probably has one more chance. And they didn't have any playmakers last year, JB. The corpse of Adam Thielen. That's it. So I mean, you need a receiver. You got to
Pretty
give this poor
much.
kid someone to throw to. You need
Pretty
someone to throw
much.
to.
Yeah, it's
So you got it. Yeah.
Actually, let me fix my camera here a little bit. There we go. All right. Now to the Saints. Saints
Yeah.
needs. Oh man, who does the Saints really need, anyways? They need an edge, corner, quarterback, running back. I feel like they're gonna get the second pick, or the second best edge rusher, in my opinion, Jalen Walker.
Okay. JB's going with Jalen Walker.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know why.
Oh no.
Well, I kind of do know why. They're the Saints' edge rushers has been horrible this year or last year, and they need a lot of help. So,
Okay. And here's one I'm gonna go with. I don't ever want him to fall to them, but I think the Bears have addressed their offensive line really well in free agency, so I don't think that's a concern. Maybe round one in the draft, maybe later in the rounds, but I'm gonna go Ashton Jeanty from running back from Boise State. He's actually, in my opinion, my third best player in the draft. I just thought teams had other needs before him, and a lot of teams draft for a need, especially bad teams. So I think with the Bears here, they're going to go Ashton Jeanty. If they can get a hold of him, pair DeAndre Swift with him, that's a good Bears offense, JB.
hmm, not bad, not bad.
I really hope he does not fall to them because I think that will make them so much better, JB.
Down to the 49ers. Man. Oh, who are the 49ers really need? They need an offensive line. And you know what?
I mean, yeah, they've lost a lot in free agency, yeah.
They have lost a lot. And I think they're going to start in the front lines. I think they're going to draft Calvin or Kelvin Banks from Texas. And while
And
you do the Dallas pick, I got to make a phone call here real quick. So I'll be right back.
absolutely, absolutely. I'll keep going, JB. Don't worry. Number 12 for the Dallas Cowboys. And there's another team. My God, there were stats about them. They don't do anything in free agency. They just kind of sit there. And Jerry Jones talks about being all in. Outside of CB Lamb, the Cowboys don't have any sort of threat at receiver. You can't think of one. I mean, they signed Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders. I mean, they're decent backs, but not number one backs. They're complimentary backs. They needed to get a running back in this draft, and unfortunately, they need a lot of things, and there's really no running back here really worthy of note. So when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, because if Jeanty could fall to them, and he's not going to fall down to number 12, I am telling you. I think in this mock draft we were kind of generous, letting him fall to 10, maybe even making the wrong decision doing so. So I think when it comes to Dallas, they need some sort of weapon. And I think they're going to get Luther Burden the third, the wide receiver from Missouri. That's what I'm going with here, taking it with you guys here. So, yeah, I think that's where Dallas needs to go. You need to get some sort of wide receiver. We went with Luther.
All right, I'm back. I am back. Who did you pick?
We were just working on that, JB. I was explaining to the people that Dallas has no good receivers outside CeeDee Lamb.
Hmm.
So Luther Burden the third from Missouri.
Luther Burton the third. Ooh, you're gonna pass up Maka Ibuka?
I do think so here. Dallas doesn't do any. They need a lot of help. They need to support.
Yeah,
They need to get
they
someone
do
outside
need a
CD.
lot of help.
Speaking of that, The cops weren't at your door, were they, or your mother? Because that comment, I don't know if you've seen that comment on our videos. Well, is your mother at the door? And it was pretty funny. So
Oh, no. No. That was a funny comment though, but no. Nice try, guys. Nice try. But to me, now I got the Miami Dolphins. And I do believe they're not going to go offensive line. They're going to go to a defensive line or defense. And they're going to
okay,
pick up Will Johnson out of Michigan. And here's why.
okay, Will Johnson. Okay,
And here's why. Well, the Dolphins really didn't have that good of corners last year. I mean, they got burnt over the tops too many times by their corners, and sometimes the safeties kind of helped them out here and there. But for their corners, they really don't have that much talent in the corners area. So, I mean, Will Johnson, I mean, he's a great lockdown corner for the Michigan. I mean, I don't really know how. I mean, I know how he did. I mean, look how he played during the championship game. Wait, not the championship game. Did they play the championship game? I don't remember. It's been so long.
no, no, Ohio State, bro.
It
That
was
was last year.
Ohio. That was yeah,
Now,
yeah,
Michigan did beat Ohio State this year, and Michigan did beat Alabama in their bowl game.
yeah. So I mean, Will Johnson, he's a great lockdown corner. So that's all
And
I gotta say.
for the Colts, I get the hometown Colts, my friend, and I'm taking they got to protect Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones, whoever they decide to go with. And good God, if Anthony Richardson is as bad as Daniel, if that's really a competition, I was wrong about Anthony Richardson, and I'm gonna have to eat those words because I thought he was gonna be the next best thing, and he has completed an absurdly low percent of throws. So you gotta support
Oh
him. I think
man,
the best.
I'm tired. Hey,
I'm
you
boring. I'm
gotta
boring, JB.
you gotta you gotta come back in for me. You come in for me. Yeah. Oh.
JB's gonna take a nap. We don't have lullaby music on this podcast, unfortunately, JB. But that's funny. Go ahead and get your pillow. Get your pillow. I got Tyler Warren, JB, out of Penn State, because not only is he a good receiving back, he has good hands, but he's also built for the NFL. He can block. He's 260-pound frame and 6'6". His weight is well distributed. He's gonna be able to block and catch. That's the best player on the board, I think, here at this point, and the Colts need it.
Oh, okay. I mean that's a good pick. Um, let's see. Now, for the Falcons, I think they got a great young offense. They got weapons on the offensive side. It's their defense that's um kind of lacking. And to me, I think that they're going to pick up a linebacker from Alabama, Jahad
Ooh.
Campbell.
Okay,
Great,
JB.
great linebacker. I think Campbell can be a great fit for um the Falcons defense. Great pickup for them.
Okay. I agree. They definitely got to address the defense. On my board, linebacker, defensive lineman, corner, and edge are the main aspects. And I like that pick there, JB. Best player on my board. Actually, no, he's not. Second best player. I want to see if he can fall. I think he's going to. 16 here with the Cardinals. They're really about one offensive lineman away from having a decent offensive line. The problem is, at this point, you would have to sort of drop down a little bit. But Josh Simmons, I think, is their pick here. He's my third best offensive lineman on the board here from Ohio State, Simmons. And they got to protect Kyler Murray. They need one more offensive lineman.
I agree. I agree. I mean, Josh Simmons, he's a great oh, excuse me. He's a great offensive lineman. Great big boy. Big boy.
We need them
Now,
big boys, boy.
oh, you do. You definitely do. Now for the Cincinnati Bengals, I want to ruin there. They need a quarterback. I'm just kidding. No, man, Cincinnati, I don't know what they're doing. They gave all their money to Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and basically T Higgins as well. Um, they basically got rid of all their defensive players. I feel like. I mean, there's no one there. Hendrickson, I think he left. I'm pretty sure he left or he retired. I don't even know which one. I don't even remember.
No, he wants his money. He's at odds with the Bengals over a contract, and he led the NFL in sacks last year, JB.
Hmm.
And they gave all the money to T Higgins and Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow instead.
Yeah. So I mean it's I
This
mean
ain't Madden.
he's
You got it.
and I feel like he's gonna leave. Um. So so I think they're gonna draft someone to replace him for cheap or on a rookie contract. And this is a good pick to me. Georgia, Kel Williams will be
Okay.
my pick for,
Mikael Williams.
and I think he'll be a
I mean,
great fit for the Bengals. I mean, for whatever little Bengals defense they have left. I mean, he can be great on the inside or
no, it's
as the
funny
edge rusher.
because the Bengals, they might have to have the tree outs, JB. Go to the tree outs because they're building a team like you would in Madden, and that's why Joe Burrow last year had great stats. Joe Burrow was an MVP candidate, JB, and they went 9-8 and missed the playoffs. Part of that is because they play in a hard division, yes. Part of that's because they build the team like you do in Madden.
Hmm.
What they should have done is you pay Joe Burrow, you pay Jamar Chase, you draft a first round receiver for cheap to replace T. Higgins. It's not like he can stay healthy anyway. And then you pay Hendrickson. He led the NFL in sacks. You need a defensive presence. I mean, and they have Miles Murphy, who I think will hopefully develop into the player I think he can be. So, I mean, that's what they should have done.
Yeah, that's no.
But, JB, moving on to the Seattle Seahawks. This is the last non playoff team, my friend, and I have the honor. So, with that, I'm actually going to. It seems like the Seahawks have invested a lot into their offense this year, but not really their offensive line. They got Cooper Cup, obviously, and Mardez Valdez Scantling. And of course, they already have the Ohio State kid, who Smith and Jigma, who's a baller. And they have they have two decent running backs. So I think they're going to invest in their offensive line here. None of that's any good if you can't protect Sam Darnold, who's your new quarterback. So Gray Zabel from North Dakota State is actually my next best offensive lineman. He does play in a weaker conference. That's why I think he dropped a little bit here. But yeah, I think they got to protect Sam Darnold.
Oh yeah. I
Because
mean,
if they
him.
don't, we're gonna get the Carolina or Jets version of Sam Darnold. You got to be able to protect him. And if not, that's what you're going to get. You're not going to get the Vikings version where you actually give him time to read the field.
Yeah, and the Vikings offensive line was actually really good last year.
Yes,
And
it was.
last year, Geno Smith, I mean, he flat out I feel like he sucked last year because he got rushed way too many times. and it's
He
just
was mid,
he was
mid.
I wouldn't even say he was mid, honestly. He was just there. I mean, I don't know. It was just
He's not gonna go out there and make big plays, but he's not gonna go out there and make a stupid mistake either. But every pass is like 6 yards, you know what I mean?
yeah. And I mean, when you have Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, I mean, both two great receivers that can beat corners and safeties downfield. I mean, and you're just throwing it 6 yards. I mean, to me, that's unacceptable.
Geno Smith is a good story. He had a good Pro Bowl year. He's turned in from to a bust to a backup to a decent starter. Now he has a
And now
chance with
he's
the Raiders, a
going,
game with
I feel like he's
right.
going to go back down to a bust. He had that one good year, 1 year wonder, and then he's got all that money, and now he's just meh.
I agree. And JB, you get the honor of the first playoff team, my friend. Number
Now,
19.
now for me, for the Bucks, I think they're going to draft a corner.
Ooh,
It would be Jade Barron from Texas.
yeah.
I feel like
He's
they
the best
need.
corner on the yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he's the Bucks really needs a corner, in my opinion. And there's Barron is the next best thing on the board. So
I agree with you, JB. And then to you, Baron, I'm going on to the Denver Broncos, JB, because Denver was a surprise team last year.
mhm.
And they already have a stout defense. And if he were to fall this far, I don't think the Denver Broncos would budge on drafting him. I'm gonna go Malachi. I believe that's yeah, Malachi Starks, the safety from Georgia. Excuse
Ooh,
me, I almost butchered that one, JB. Because you pair him with how he looked in college. Oh my God, JB, with Sutton, the Defensive Player of the Year, that Denver defense is going to be scary.
and I agree. Yeah, them two together, I think they'll be a great defensive nightmare.
'Cause Sean Payton's going to figure out the offense. Don't worry about that. He can get a receiver in round two, a running back in round two. You can get those type of players. Don't worry about that. They
Oh
already
yeah,
have their quarterback in Bo Nix. So, JB, it's your time. It just kind of worked out this way. I'm going to
yeah.
let you get two in a row here because the Packers would be on deck. Because, yeah, you get two in a row, my friend. The Steelers.
Yep. Now, for me, the Steelers, there was two quarterbacks I want to draft. It's either Jackson Dart or Jalen Milrow. And now there's talks that Will Howard is also going to be in the mix as well. And I do believe 100% those three quarterbacks will be at this spot when the Steelers pick. And I do believe, I really want, because now this is a running quarterback era, you need mobility. Jalen Milrow, he is the fastest quarterback in this draft class by far, other than Shador Sanders. I think them two are neck and neck.
I could, okay, yeah, I'd agree with that.
And then Jalen Milrow, he has a cannon for an arm. And I feel like
Wow. He does.
he can read defense pretty well. Jackson Dart, I give that to him a little bit more. He can read the defense a little bit better than what Jalen Milrow has. I mean, and also Will Howard. I mean, he's a great quarterback as well. Don't get me wrong. I mean, this is probably the best quarterback draft class that there is right now. I mean, there's also Curtis Rauch from Indiana. He was a stud, but Jalen Milrow is who I want the Steelers to pick. But it's probably going to be Jackson Dart. But Jalen Milrow, he is the fastest quarterback. He's everything that you want in a quarterback. He's mobile. He's like I want to say he's probably the best. He's Lamar Jackson 3.0 at this point. I don't want to say 2.0 because that's just a copy, basically. But he's a Walmart version of Lamar Jackson, and Lamar Jackson is the complete name brand of, and then you have the Walmart brand. But the Walmart brand is still good. Don't get me wrong. There's some Walmart brands out there that's actually really, really good. Don't get me wrong. But, but yeah, Jalen Milrow. I think he's. I really want the Pittsburgh to draft him.
See, I'm shocked. I'm gonna get a deep philosophical one here, philosophy football here, because I actually thought you would go Jackson Dart because he's my next best quarterback on the radar because of what he's done the last 2 years at Ole Miss. Holy mackerel! And the last time I fell in love with a really fast, buff, athletic quarterback that could run as fast as him with a strong arm on a pro day type of deal was Anthony Richardson. And he reminds me a lot of him at his like how he's built and how he. I do worry about that a little bit, but you're right. Steelers need to address the quarterback situation in some guy. You cannot have Mason Rudolph going out there week one against in the NFL season when you're playing against Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow. It just cannot happen. You're not going to win in this NFL era. So you need a quarterback. So I thought, okay, that's impressive, JB. We're different on that one.
Like I said, I'm Jackson Dart. Don't get me wrong. I'll be fine with either three: Will Howard, Jalen Milrow, or Jackson Dart. I wouldn't care for either one. I would be fine either way. I just like Jalen Milrow a lot more, just a little bit more than Jackson Dart and Will Howard.
I mean, Milrow did have a very, very impressive pro day. He did. He had a very impressive pro day.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you that. I think I'm scarred from Anthony Richardson. It's a me problem, not you.
But I mean, Anthony Richardson. I mean, he had injury issues. He had even had injury issues in college, and he's
And
still.
his completion percentage was always low in high school, even too. Go
Mhm.
back and look at Anthony Richardson's high school stats. He had a very low completion percentage.
Yep, and even in college, and then yet he was still he basically got drafted because of how his speed was.
And how strong his arm is. He has a cannon.
Mhm.
But it doesn't matter if the ball's 20 yards away.
Exactly. So that's why I say Jalen Milrow is a lot better because his completion percentage in college was a lot better than Anthony Richardson. So,
And JB, you get the Chargers too. Because
oh,
I get the Packers. Yep, because the Packers will be 23.
all right. Well, for me, the Chargers really needs a tight end, in my opinion, because they lost their tight end to the Steelers. Now we got the Steelers has two tall tight ends on our offense. So, oh, thank you, Chargers. But I do believe they're gonna pick up a tight end this draft class, and I believe that Colston Loveland is going to be the draft pick for Chargers.
going with him. Okay.
Because
Tight end. Crap. Loveland, you
honestly,
said?
yep,
That's what I thought. Okay.
Loveland. But I mean, to me, they have a good offense. The Chargers has a
Oh yeah,
great
that's decent. Yeah.
offense. It's decent. I mean, they got receivers, they got a running back, they got a good offensive line. What else they really need on offense? They need a tight end. And I think Loveland will be a great fit for the Chargers.
Okay. I agree with that, JB. And for the time I have been waiting for, because I think Green Bay's had a very good offseason. I mean, I think we overpaid a little bit for Morgan, um, for the 49ers guard we got, because now we're shifting Elkin Jenkins to center since we lost our awful center, thank God, to the Jets. Thank God he's gone. But so we're moving Elton Jenkins over to center position, and people forget we still have Jordan Morgan, who did not play last year with injury, who was our first round pick last year, and he's kind of a tackle guard combo. We have Zach Tom still. We have a great offensive line. I'm not really worried about that. And corner was our biggest need because Jair Alexander, I'm not going to say he's not going to be there. I'm going to say most likely not going to be there. Reports are. And so you could really go receiver, but we needed an edge rusher also. I mean, Rashawn Gary was our sack leader. He didn't even have 9 sacks, JB. And he was our sack leader.
Yeah,
Our
that's
corners are great. I think our corners are great now. Our secondary, I think, is great. We have Carrington Valentine, Keyshawn Nixon now isn't going to be returning kicks because we signed the Chiefs receiver to do that. Um, so I think Green Bay here is going to go edge rusher because our corners, Nate Hobbs, Keyshawn Nixon, Carrington Valentine. We have Javon Bullard, Xavier McKinney, Evan Williams back there in the secondary. We have a good young secondary. So I'm going to go Mike Green from Marshall here because he has a great first step. And he won, I think it was approximately 90% of his rates when it came to rushing the quarterback. And if he would have done that at a bigger program, he'd be a lot higher on this list.
I'm
But
surprised
because
you
he
didn't.
played at a
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
because he didn't play, he played at Marshall, so it's a lower level conference, whatever Division 1 conference. I think that probably will make him drop a little bit. But his first, because the biggest thing as an edge rusher is your first step. We
Mhm.
need some pass rush in Green Bay. Otherwise, the secondary is going to have a hard time, no matter how talented it is.
I'm surprised you didn't pick Shamir Stewart from Texas A&M. Honestly,
He's actually the next. Actually, James Pierce is my next best on my board. But actually, Green is my best pass rusher on the board at this point. I just think he's doesn't get is noticed as much because he played at Marshall. I watched some tape on him a little bit because I seen a mock draft where Green Bay got him. I'm like, who is this guy? So I watched some tape on him, and dude, he can play. Go watch it. Go watch him. He has that first step he has reminds me of Clay Matthews, and I don't want to say that because but that what I seen on tape, that's a good first step. Not saying it'll translate, but I'm willing to say we need edge rusher here badly. I think at receiver we still have Romeo Dobbs. We still have we obviously still don't have Christian Watson right now. Um, but we still have Romeo Dobbs. We have Tavian Wicks. We have Jaden Reed, who had over 1,000 yards combined. We have Tucker Kraft at tight end. Josh Jacobs in the backfield. We have playmakers. We can get another receiver in round 2.
exactly. So for me, picking your rival, the Minnesota Vikings, I
Uh,
feel like they need a safety. I feel like that's where they lacked last year is more safety and defensive line. So for me, it's either Kenneth Grant or Nick Worry, Iman Worry.
The Stanford receiver.
No, South Carolina safety. Either Kenneth Grant from Michigan, defensive line,
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, okay,
or
okay.
Nick Iman Worry from South Carolina. I'm going to butcher some of these names. So I feel like they're going to draft the safety Nick Imanwari.
I think you actually did pretty decent at that, JB.
That's shocking.
That is impressive, my friend. And here with the Texans, because the Texans last year, CJ Stroud had a sophomore slump or whatever. I don't believe he really did. I mean, for Christ's sake, they won the division still. His stats were not as good or whatever, but they still won a playoff game and almost beat the Chiefs in round 2 of the playoffs. But CJ Stroud they got to protect him. Holy crap. Because he's going to get killed out there if they don't. He's going to be the next Andrew Luck. And they don't need that. So Josh Connerly Jr., I think, the tackle from Oregon, and I think the Texans just got to protect CJ Stroud. And they also traded away Larry Tunsil because their
Yeah.
offensive line wasn't bad enough already. They got rid of their best offensive lineman. They
Yeah. I
need
don't know why
offensive
they
linemen,
did.
offensive linemen, offensive linemen, offensive linemen. They should draft all offensive linemen.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
it's
I'm being sarcastic, but they got to address that. They got to. It's bad.
now for the Rams. I feel like they need some offensive weapons. Their offense is not looking all that
Even
great.
with even with Devontae Adams.
Even with Devontae Adams and Puka Nakua, I feel like they really need a third option
Okay.
because I mean we all seen how Devontae Adams played last year, even with Aaron
Still over
Rodgers. Still,
still over a
still,
thousand.
still, still over 1,000. I'll say still over 1,000, but not the way that Devontae should be playing. He's been named one of the best receivers, and even though he had 1,000 receiving yards, but they really don't have. I feel like they don't have that. He doesn't have that thing anymore. Doesn't have that threat. So to me, it's either going to be well, actually, no, they're not going to pick a receiver.
Ooh, JB flipping on us.
I flipped it. They're going to pick an edge rusher to me because I feel like they need a lot more help on defense than what they need on offense. Even though they're probably going to draft a guard or something, in my opinion. But I would think Shamir Stewart is going to be picked for the Rams. I think he'll be a good fit for that defense.
Okay. And for Baltimore here, they actually, I think, need an offensive lineman, but they also need an edge rusher here. I think my best player on my board right now is James Pierce Jr. I think that's probably their third biggest need, but they need a guard, really. But there's no guard that I'm willing to take over Pierce at this point. And edge rusher is an issue a little bit to a point. They had issues rushing the passer at times last year.
Yeah, yeah. They Baltimore needs a lot of help on defense. Like they got
And
some help on off. They have a great offense. Don't get me wrong. They just need to stay healthy.
and they did re-sign Ronnie Stanley to play left tackle. They can address guard later on in the draft. And
Hmm.
Baltimore's really good at developing players, so I think they should address guard in the second round here, especially if Stanley's available.
I agree. And to the Detroit Lions. Now, I think it's either they're going to pick an edge rusher or the defensive line. They need a lot of help on defense more than they need help on offense, in my opinion. especially with Aiden
Fine.
Hutchinson being um, injured last year. They really need a good backup or someone to swap places. So I'm between Kenneth Grant from Michigan
Okay.
or Donovan is Zeruka.
Hey, ooh, there you go, JB. I'm sure you nailed it. Did better than I would have.
But I think Kenneth Grant is going to be.
Okay. And I'm going to say here for the Commanders, this would be a good spot for this kid, Donovan Azuka, like you said, JB. I mean, he is smaller for an NFL edge rusher at a 240 pounds, 6'2", and doesn't really have a good first step, so I worry about that. But he could go to Dan Campbell here because his first step might not be that explosive, but it is. I mean, he is fast and he has good
Mhm.
hands, JB. When you watch film on him, I have it right here, JB. Notes I've made and whatnot. He uses his hands fast, and I think with Dan Campbell, he can improve his first step, and I think Dan Campbell can get the most of him. They need an edge rusher, JB. They've invested in their receivers. They got plenty of weapons. They need some edge rusher. It command, JB.
So wait, you think the Washington Redskins are going to pick up Donovan Ezruka?
I sure do, JB. The Redskins or Commanders are going to take Donovan and Zuka. They should have left it
Uh,
as the football team. They should have left it as the football team. In hindsight,
uh, yeah. I mean, that's
it's kind of
uh,
cool, unique. You should have embraced it. You have no name.
Washington no name.
A football team. Washington. We are Washington. They should have just embraced it instead of coming up with something corny that we can all make fun of. The Commanders or the Commies or whatever. Come on, you gotta do better than that. Take command, JB.
Now for the Buffalo Bills. What they need, I feel like they
Buffalo
need
Bills.
more. They need a weapon
Yes,
on offense. But even though most of them that they had were actually really good, they did really good for Josh Allen. But
but Amari Cooper's a free agent still.
yes, Amari Cooper is still a free agent. They have not signed him back yet. Um, so for me, oh man, I think Matthew Golden. They're going to draft a receiver, Matthew Golden from Texas, from the Longhorns.
Okay, JB. I like that pick. And we are now down to the Super Bowl teams, my friend, on our third annual mock draft. Let's let that soak in for a minute. And with the second place, no longer Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, we have, I think, really, though, all seriousness, no hatred for the Chiefs. They need to address their interior defensive line. They were no match for Philadelphia in the trenches. I mean, really, they didn't block well for Patrick Mahomes at all, so you could go offensive lineman here. But they didn't address any pressure towards Jalen Hurts. He had all day to do whatever he wanted. Super Bowl MVP, obviously.
Even they even
So they need
traded
to,
or even they got rid of some of their best offensive linemen as well. So
and they did do that as well. So I think you could go either here, but my best player on the board, and I think that's what Kansas City will do, is Walter Nolan. I think from Ole Miss. He could be a stud for them and can change the trenches on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, mind you, the Chiefs, even with a bad offensive line last year, went 15-2. They'll figure it out.
they even shouldn't be 15-2 in my opinion. Anyways,
You get the Super Bowl
Anyways,
champions.
and I get the Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. And I feel like they really need some help, even though it was really good help, or not. Their offensive line was still really, really good. They still, I think they still have one or few spots open, and they're really big spots. So I think Tyler Booker from Alabama will be a great fit for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay. And I agree with you because on a team that doesn't really have a lot of pressing and needs, I mean, yeah, you can't go wrong with too many offensive linemen. You cannot go wrong with that.
So,
And wow, with that, JB, we just concluded our third annual mock draft special, my friend. That is wild to sit there and truly think about. That is wild, JB.
mhm, it is.
And JB, we'll take a quick minute here. This was not on the script for today. What do you think of the? We're going to transfer over to the NBA. Miami Heat. A little bit of a winning streak right now. What are you thinking? A chance at the playoffs here? And of course Purdue. You haven't been on here for a while, so we got to ask you about Purdue too. So give me both of them. What's your thoughts on all of it?
Miami Heat.
Oh, it's all yours.
First, I'm gonna say about Miami Heat, I feel like it's going to be a whole different struggle. I feel like it's going to be a bloody matchup, playoffs, and everything else. I mean, I don't think we're still not going to be playing in it. So,
You don't think we're going to make the playoffs?
no. Even though we're on a little winning streak right now, but yeah, it's yeah. And now I really don't want to talk about Miami Heat basketball right now. It's to me it's disturbing at this point. I feel like we just need to refresh and restart and look forward to the next season, in my opinion.
Okay.
'Cause I think
I mean, we
to me, the what you call it, the Jimmy Butler situation that took a big um hit on us, and it was it distracted us quite a bit, and it's still I feel like it's still distracting us quite a bit, regardless. So me, that's why I'm going to say it's going to be a real struggle for the Miami Heat. So let's just refresh, regroup, and get ready for the next season. And on to Purdue. We fought back. We really did. But why would you leave someone open under the basket with less than a second left?
when you have Kaufman Rim,
Exactly. So why have someone wide open under the basket for an easy dunk, for easy standing dunk? Why? That I don't know. But we did fight back. Um so yeah,
and we did make it to the Sweet 16.
We didn't make it to the Sweet 16, but we could have beat Houston. We definitely could have beat them easily. But I mean, we played way better than what Michigan did.
And it was late. It's late game situations with Matt Painter. It seems like, and when I'm gonna flip back to the Miami Heat here because here's how I look at it. I mean, truly, we're the 10 seed, so all we'd have to do is beat two other losing teams in a row to make the playoffs. Not impossible. I say we ought to just freaking go for the playoffs. Say screw it. Let's try to make the playoffs because we've already won too many games to get Cooper Flag, and might as well. Let's try. Let's get our act together. I mean, we've won 4 in a row. We got walk. We have an easy ass schedule. Rest of the way, JB. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it. I mean, is it possible?
It
Yes,
is
it's possible, but
it's preposterously, and we're only 2.5 games out of 8. And here's the rest of our schedule: Wizards, Celtics, okay. Grizzlies just fired their coach. Bucks, Dame Lillard's still out. Sixers, Bulls, Pelicans, Wizards. That's doable.
it's doable. I do agree. It's
You're
doable, but
you're looking at probably losing at least to probably Memphis, maybe, but definitely Boston. That's really the only 2 games that are tough.
yeah.
Might as well. What
But
else can what? Might as well.
yeah,
But I agree with you. Like I said on my video, I don't know if you watched that video I did the other day about the Miami Heat, where I was talking about do I, with how this season's went, it's been a clown show. I'm not expecting it. I'm not expecting it, but there's a chance. A chance. All I'm saying, a real chance. If anybody can do it, it's Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley.
true, true.
And I do trust Bam, but we don't have Jimmy now. And they're doing so good in Golden State. Oh, tough year, JB. So if we could at least make the playoffs, that would somehow make it better. It would,
It would. But
because through all of it, we would be able to fight for a title. We'd probably get our ass kicked, but we would be there.
then here is our bracket.
Ooh, JB. Oh yeah, I didn't even notice we had that up.
Yep, I got our
What's
bracket up.
what's the percentage? Oh God, I
Seventy-seven
have to
percent.
look. Okay, okay, okay.
77%.
So
Um, like I said,
we're slightly above mid.
we did have Michigan State winning it.
Yeah.
That failed.
And we had VCU as our hey, at least Michigan State made it to the Elite Eight. We had VCU as our upset team. JB.
Yeah.
It's my turn to give you shit because you gave me shit last year. It's my turn. It's my moment.
Yep.
Slightly above mid, JB. Okay, we're
That's
C
it.
plus. That's a C plus. 77.
Yeah, we'll see if Duke makes it to the final or to the championship game because
It looks like it.
honestly,
God dang.
we got Duke going to the championship game, so we'll see how that goes out.
Absolutely, JB. And with that, that's all we have today, and a little more, JB. What do you got for the people, my friend? I'll let you do
Oh,
most talking. Been gone a while.
I can't wait for the draft. I mean, hopefully the Steelers do pick up a good quarterback. Um, and like I said, I have second thoughts on our Miami Heat. Um, and I do believe
Oh,
is
me too.
this this year. I think it's time for Purdue to part ways with Painter. It's time. It is time. He's done quite a bit, but never brought us to brought us a title. And if it wasn't this year, I don't think there's not going to be a next year because Braden Smith is going to be going to the draft. Um,
Maybe.
maybe, but I'm pretty sure he's probably going to. And then Kaufman is his last year as well. So
baby.
It's gonna happen.
Never know. They're actually outside. They're not even second round picks on some draft boards. I think they should do the Zach Edey route, come back one more year like Edey did, and he ended up being a first round pick.
Who knows? But that's all I got.
And I'll do all the formalities, like, subscribe, the bell, all because on Facebook, Sports Fact Day, all that good stuff. Me and JB, I haven't told him this yet, but I've been talking to some people. We have some important new things we're going to be doing on the Unbiased Hard Take and a lot more golf. So, with that, JB, that's all I got. Till next time, sooner than you think. Go Pack, go. Draft's almost here. It's in Green Bay, baby. We're going to show them how football is done in Green Bay this year at the draft. Let's go, Heat. Let's make a playoff push. We're already in the play-in, guaranteed pretty much. Might as well. We're already going to be there. Give it a shot. Might as well try. And then boiler up, baby. All I got, JB.
And all I got is let's go Heat. Let's go Purdue. And let's go Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's get a good draft pick. Let's pick up a good quarterback this year. Until next time, we'll see you all next week.
Next week.